Hi there, this is John Hyman from Commercial Real Estate Online. Welcome to the program on YouTube. This is where I like to share information relating to commercial real estate brokerage around the world. And indeed, the community for the audience for the program is very large. Brokers and agents all around the world, sales, leasing, or property management. So it is time for you to grab a coffee, come back with your notebook and listen to the program. You can get some ideas to help you in this property market, this unusual property market. There are opportunities out there. It's a matter of what you do, what you think, and how you approach things. So here is the video show, and I'll catch you at the other end. So the show today is all about lead generation and a seller's list. Of course, today you need listings. That's the trick. To proceed in this property market where there is plenty of change and churn going on, you need a seller's list. They are the people that will sell their property at some stage in the future. Maybe not now, maybe in the future, but you need a seller's list. And of course, lead generation will help you with that as well. So let's have a look at this and help you with ideas to generate a seller's list. So a seller's list is a good foundation in commercial real estate brokerage for you, for your growth of market share. Devote your time to a seller's list because that gives you control of your listings. In brokerage, there are plenty of things that you can do with a seller's list over time. It is a good foundation for you with your business opportunities if you do it correctly. Devote time every day to your seller's list, the people that could sell into the future. Maybe not today, but into the future. Connecting with them regularly will help that seller's list thrive and grow. So develop the list for yourself and work it deeply for your real estate business. Now that will be on a spreadsheet or something, maybe a database of some sort. You need a list. So how are you running that list now? How many people do you have in that list? It's worth thinking about because it is the foundation of where you're heading, what you're doing, and how you are achieving listings and commissions over time. It's all about connections, of course. So the connections established with new property owners as potential sellers in your territory can be logically researched and gathered over time. So you're not going to find hundreds of people all at once, and don't do that because it's just too confusing. Work consistently every day to find new people. That might be 5 or 10, 15 people. Indeed, if you are finding 5 new people a day over a 90-day cycle, that is Monday to Friday, over a 90-day cycle, 3 months, that is actually about 300 new people in your database. Think about it. Would that be an amazing opportunity for you? Of course it would. So the list is then a generous source of leads and sales opportunities for your brokerage business over time. Think about things for yourself, how you're doing things. So what do you do now with your list, your business activities? What is your toolbox? Sure, there's a briefcase here on the screen. Now the briefcase is your toolbox. That is your list. How are you working your list? What are you doing every day? The systemized agents that work to a strategy and a system always achieve more business than anybody else. So what do you do with the list? How do you work it? Frequent ongoing contact with property owners as potential sellers is a wise strategy to build relationships and the appropriate levels of trust. Trust is a big thing in our game. Trust can take time to build, and indeed you may find it so difficult initially to approach a particular targeted person. But accept that for what it is. Keep trying. Every 60 days, keep trying. So have you got a seller's list, and how do you work it? Is your list comprehensive? Is it active? Is it growing every day by 5 people a day? So list management, let's look at it. Precincts and zones. Identify the zones in your territory that relate to and support the inquiries and the growth patterns of the local area. So some precincts and some zones will be busier than others, more attractive than others from an occupancy perspective. Understand where those precincts and zones are, and then get deeply into them to understand who owns what, who the businesses are, and what's going on in the precincts and the zones. Don't spread yourself too far. That's an error in commercial real estate. If you go too far out into a broad area, you just can't concentrate. And that's where you miss things. That's where you overlook things. Streets. Prioritize the streets in your zones and your precincts. And of course, owners versus owner-occupiers. Know what the differences are for the owners of local property in each group. So get to know who owns the buildings, where the businesses are in the street. Do they own what they're in? Are they an owner-occupier or are they a tenant? Now, buildings. Know the better buildings and the locations of each building in the location. And lastly, opportunities. Understand the differences between land, classes of building, and the zones or the precinct changes. So these elements here, the precincts, the streets, the owners, the owner-occupiers, the buildings, and the opportunities, that's actually the basis of list management. That's how you do it. So you're concentrating into a zone and you're extracting all of this information from the zone. That's how you build your real estate business. It's not hard, it's just logical, and it just takes a reasonable degree of organization. So make it a focus for half of your day to manage your list and connect with people. Yes, I said half of your day. A huge challenge? Maybe. But it is a very good habit to have in your real estate business to drive and thrive in any property market, and even now. So list communication, how would you do it? Property owners needing local comparisons. So all property owners and business owners are concerned about their property investment and how it compares to others in the region. Yes, I said compare. Property owners that you talk to now want to know how their property may compare with others when it comes to maybe rents or prices or availability or improvements, attractiveness, that sort of thing. So share information with the property owners you talk to. Use the regular sales reports from the zone as discussion points and interesting topics to compare to in any listing presentation. It's hard for an owner or a client to refute facts, printed facts from actual research and property activity in the zone. So number 2, updates on prices and rents. You can create simple graphs of rent and price changes in a region across property types and zones of activity. Share that information. The visual approach works very well and has great advantages in listing presentations, business presentations relating to a property. So when you get your price and rent information, put it on a graph. Pretty simple. Just put it on a graph on Excel and then turn it into a graph that you can display in a PDF form on your tablet computer as part of talking to someone. And you can have different graphs for retail, industrial, and office. Show the trends. The trends could be up or down or static. You don't know, but it's not your job to set the trends. It is your job to display the trends. Number 3, updates on time on market. You can explain to the client the differences that apply to open listings versus exclusive listings. So an exclusive listing is something that you control for a period of time, be it 3 months, 4 months, maybe 6 months. And some commercial listings require a good period of time of market penetration. That's why the exclusivity clause should be for maybe 6 months. In saying that, you've got to convince the client that you are the agent of choice for that exclusivity request. Open listings are just a random approach to the market and really don't achieve much for you and or the client. So always try to convert exclusively and give the client plenty of reasons why that is important to where you're going and why you want to do that. So show the trends and the advantages of the exclusive listing process in your region. Have photographs, have some graphs. Show the shorter time on market that applies to exclusive listings because it will exist. Use plenty of photographs as part of sharing that property listing trends and the market processes. Now, marketing processes, what are they? Well, they can be different, and they certainly should be different between exclusive and open listings. The marketing processes are deep and direct when it comes to exclusivity. In open listings, they're random and ordinary. So it's pretty simple to show the client why exclusivity will give them deeper market penetration where you're talking to more people directly when it comes to your efforts with their listing. Put yourself in the equation. You are the agent of importance and penetration to do something with the client's listing. It's that simple. Going a bit further here. Number 4, factors of supply and demand. Some properties and locations will have greater inquiry. So where are those zones? Where are those properties? Where are the locations? Understand where they are and also the differences between the age of property. Certain buildings, certain older buildings may be almost redundant, and that means they will be remaining on the market for a long period of time when it comes to time on market. So supply and demand impacts the types of property, the locations, but also the ages of property. Understand supply and demand, what's going on with the new developments coming into the market. You can chart the trends if you track your inquiries coming into you each week. Where are the inquiries coming from? Probably the internet, but also from your discussions with other people. So get deeply involved with your market, the people in it, and drive your business forward directly and comprehensively. Talk to people. Soon the supply and demand factors will mean sense to you. They'll mean something to you, and you can show the client what is happening with supply and demand, where the inquiry is coming from, and how you work it. So the graphing process gives you credibility to your observations. The graphing process shows the client where the inquiry is coming from. So where is the inquiry coming from? Probably the internet, maybe the newspapers, but also direct approach. Your direct approach to people should be very high on conversions, and supply and demand should be impacted by the direct approach that you make to people locally. And that should be your point of difference when it comes to marketing yourself in the location. So number 5. Off-market transactions. They're always there, perhaps in this market in many locations around the world. Off-market transactions are becoming far more common. That's because a lot of direct marketing is so important in this climate, this property climate. So, off-market transactions are a close connection with local property sellers. That will help you with finding the off-market purchase and sell situations before your competitors get involved. In other words, you're putting a deal together. You're connecting the dots. You're connecting the sellers with the buyers because you're talking to lots of people. That's how it works. So I go back to my basic point of keeping a database list, a spreadsheet, something that records the requirements of people in this market. The buyers, the sellers, connecting the dots, connecting the people to property situations. An off-market transaction is a good way to get involved with your market and put something together. So, in summary, take all of these points and shape the ideas into a seller's list. Service and canvassing approaches to your real estate business are so important in this particular property market. There are many things that you can do to optimize the process. So, get involved, get deeply involved in your property market. So that is the end of this particular video on YouTube. You can get this article from the website at this particular link, and it is how to use a seller's list as a listing lead generator. That is at the website. The website is commercial-realestate-training.com. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the videos that we put out here relating to commercial real estate brokerage around the world. In this changing property market, we will always help you with ideas, professional services, and strategies to drive your real estate business forward. This is John Hyman signing off for now. Get involved, get deeply active, and you will win the business. Catch you soon.